Also a thing where people assume trad wives are going to always be submissive and just like let their partner steamroll over them all the time, and that's also not the case. Like there's so many variables in all the
this all
relationship
depends on how
dynamics.
you want to define things, right? But tradition, like, how would you even define tradition? It's actually a hard word to define.
What a nuclear family looks like. The man works,
Well, I
pays
mean,
the
you
bills.
wouldn't define tradition as just being nuclear family. Tradition has a specific meaning.
In
right?
regards to dating, though,
Well, I mean, just in general, what would you say tradition is?
following what generations before you did.
Yeah, I think there's some truth. I don't think that captures it, but it kind of has the right idea to be charitable, right? Best way I heard this described was tradition would be experiments that cultures have done that work, right? That's kind of a thing that we would point to as being tradition, like Christmas, for instance. It seems to be kind of this experiment that the culture did, and it seems to work fine, right? It's a stressful time of the year, and we just can't seem to wait for it or wait for it to be over, but it's something that seems to work. Halloween, these different holidays, all sorts of different traditional kind of aspects of American culture, right? Or Western culture, biblical, etc. These are all experiments which work. So what happens when experiments start breaking down, like the liberal experiment, the progressive experiment? People start to look at the experiments that worked, right? And they go, okay, we got to move back to those experiments because they worked. So that's what I think traditionalism is, right? So I think that the modern one wants to have her cake and eat it too. Because at the time that marriages were working, women didn't have a fucking say, okay? That's the truth. You want to see the time where there was almost no divorce, right? We can show you a time when the happiness index was likely happier.
They couldn't file for divorce, so
They
does
could.
it count?
No, they could.
Like, so you're accounting for like past the 80s?
They could.
Okay.
I think they could file for divorce, but they were not paid for filing for divorce. They didn't have the incentive. Because right now a woman can file for divorce because she knows she's going to keep the house. She's going to keep the kids. She's going to take some of your retirement. You're going to keep paying her alimony in some states while she gets a new man who's going to be banging her in the house that she took from you. So those are all incentives. So women are quick to, in my opinion, quick to file for divorce because they know if the guy has means, he's going to keep, she's going to keep getting money from him. I would take the deal too. Like if I knew all I have to do is file for divorce every time I didn't like what my woman did, but she's going to keep paying me and I'm going to keep the house and everything, I would file for divorce. So I think back in the day, they could still file for divorce, but they were not getting paid. They didn't get nothing from it, from divorcing as much as they do now.
They could show cause for divorce. Even the church granted divorces for infidelity, things like this. But even in the early 1920s, 1930s, right, 1940s, people were much happier. And everybody you ask in modernity,
Well, they could get a divorce, but they couldn't have
I've asked this question a million times. You think people were happier in the 1950s as you are right now? Almost every time the answer is yes. I think they were. Interestingly enough, women couldn't have the credit cards, though, right? Women couldn't have. They didn't have all this stuff. They didn't have all this shit. Very strange to me, right? Why it is they didn't have any of these kind of feminist ideals, and yet seem to be far happier when they didn't have all this say. So I think when people say tradition, they don't really mean tradition. They mean I want modernity with this kind of LARPing aspect. The LARPing aspect being, yay, I get to stay at home and not fucking do shit, right? Yay, this is great. But I don't think that's traditional. What's traditional about that? And tradition is supposed to be that you obey. That's supposed to be the tradition.
So I think, in my opinion, that any man will provide and protect for his woman, for his family. All he wants to know is, number one, he's appreciated, he's respected, he's not just being used, and also that he's not coming home to argue with his woman about this and that and that. He would love to know that his woman respects him and she's on his program. Now, are there guys who don't care? They will provide and protect, and they don't care that their women walk all over them, don't submit, don't listen. They're always arguing. Yeah, but those are the guys who like the toxic relationship, or maybe they can't find any better. But I think any man would willingly provide and protect for a woman who's gonna listen, be appreciative, be nice to him, be kind to him. That's the least most men require to provide and protect. Because I think for us it just comes naturally, right? Because we care. We want to show that I got you, babe. I got you.
Tradition's not supposed to be egalitarianism in the household. That's modernity. It's the
I don't know
opposite
about
of tradition.
obeying, but
Yeah, right. But why not? Because just the word makes you sick because you've been completely brainwashed. Just been worked on your entire life that obedience to a man, you're every bit as good as him, even though it has nothing to do with good.
there was one of those Burr moments.
It has nothing to
I
do
think-
with
I
good,
think-
right?
Well, maybe it's my social programming, but just my personality type in general. But like, obey, not a fan. But I am a fan of doing the cooking and the cleaning and all of the things in
That you like to do.
exchange.
Right, but that's
Well, I
not
don't
obedience.
necessarily like to do. I like to cook.
Yeah, but it's not obedience for you to do things you like to do. It's obedience for you to do
Yeah, but-
things that you don't like to do when you're told to do them. That's obedience.
Yeah, I think that's what most women these days. I agree with what she's saying. Most women these days would rather, well, they want to be submissive when they want to be, but they expect you to be a man, be a leader, provide, protect all times. But they will submit and be nice to you when they want to be. All right, don't expect them to be nice or nothing. I'll be nice to you when I want you, when I want to be nice, when I feel like it. If I wake up tomorrow and I want to curse you out, I don't want to call you names, I'll do that. But I still expect you to pay the bills, even if I don't feel good, even if I don't want to be nice to you. I expect you to pay the bills, and if someone attacks me, I expect you to protect me. So she's right. That's how most women are. They will be nice and be submissive and cook and clean when they want to do it. But you as a man, you better provide, you better protect all times, or I'll leave you for another man who will do it. That's dating these days.
But we could also just say that the nuclear family dynamic works better, and you don't also have to be like totally subservient to your partner.
It doesn't work. What breaks it down is the lack of subservience from the woman. The lack of obedience from the woman is what breaks it almost every single time. This is why, you tell me, why are they filing for divorce at such high rates? Why are they pushing back against men at such high rates? They're completely disobedient in their relationships.
Looks like you have something on this. Go ahead.
No. I mean,
You agree? Do you
No.
agree or disagree with Andrew?
I don't agree.
Why?
For a few reasons. I don't know.
You want to articulate those?
On what specific points? Like
Obeying,
obeying. Okay. So, I mean,
submission.
I don't know. If somebody wants to obey, I just,
It's not obedience.
yeah.
It's like, I'll do.
That's what I was saying. Like, they want to be submissive and obey when they want to be. Don't expect it from me. But you better pay for the first date. You better pay for the second date. You better protect me. You better call me. You better text me. You better be nice to me all the time. But for me, I'll do it when I want to do it. That's it. That's how they think.
Do what you want if I want to.
Yep.
It's like, well, where
Yep.
does the obey part come in?
Right.
Well, I'll follow you as soon as I think that I need to follow you
Yep.
when I just
So in other words, I'll follow you when it benefits me. When it doesn't benefit me, I'm not going to follow you. But you better provide and protect at all times because it still benefits me. Get it?
decide that it's okay to follow you, then I'll
Ryan
follow
from
you.
The Office. But no, but like maybe
Change the
obedience
split.
doesn't need to factor in though. Maybe we could just get back to men being providers and leaders and women being mothers and caretakers
great.
and
You
taking
get a-
stress off of the men by handling the things that they don't have the time to do if they're
Yeah, that's
providing.
great. You get all the perks and the benefits.
I mean, not all, like I don't think most women also want to cook, clean, and
Oh
bear
no!
babies.
Oh, that's so hard to cook and clean. Look at this.
I don't think it's
okay?
hard if someone else
So you get
pays
to
bills.
so you get to stay home all day. You get
Did you hear what she just said? She just said she doesn't think it's her to pay all the bills. She literally just said she doesn't think it's her to pay all the bills. But then she expects the man to do it. Like, I'm a man. If I had the chance of Oprah, because she's a billionaire, if Oprah told me, hey, all you gotta do is come cook, clean for me, I'll pay all the bills, I'll give you, maybe, some money to keep to do your own thing sometimes. I'm sorry. Most guys are going to take the deal. No guy wants to break his back for 40, 60 years to provide for a woman who won't even listen to him. But she just said it's easy to provide and pay for all the bills. That's crazy.
The luxury of being at home with your own children. You don't have to outsource that if you're not lazy and you actually homeschool. And if you're not, your kid's going somewhere else for 8 hours a day. Literally 8 hours a day while you're at home. Oh my God.
No, I literally agree with you on this.
This is terrible. This is horrible.
It is hard.
It's horrible what's happening to women. It's like, no, it's not hard. And
It is hard.
on top of
We
that,
can't totally
you say,
discount
okay,
that.
I get all the perks, all the benefits, but I don't want to do that obedience.
I have a question.
Fuck that obedience thing. And it's like,
And I'm
so
not
that's a
saying
pretty
that-
raw deal for men.
But like,
Yeah.
also like, I can't even imagine a situation where one would need to be obedient, because I'm like looking at my boyfriends and like ex-husband and like, well, maybe,
When it matters, that's when.
but like, so give me an
Well, clearly ex-husband, ex-boyfriends, maybe because you're not submissive to them, maybe that's why. Who knows? But anyway, full link down below if you guys want to finish it. Shout out to Andrew, shout out to Brian. Till next time, peace.